All right, so my next guest just moved to Nashville, and already he's gone native. With me now, Real Talk Capital CEO Rob Luna. Okay, Rob, so no cowboy hat or boots yet, but from what I understand, you had some of that fried chicken for the first time. You said, let me take a look at this Cracker Barrel stock. So you own it now. What's the story here, my man?
Yeah, look, I'm always trying to bring some different names, Charles. I don't want to talk about Apple or Microsoft that everyone's talking about. Last time I was on, we talked about Vita Coco. And what I do, just kind of like Warren Buffett says, I try to find some of these names of things that I'm using. So I moved out here to Nashville, and it seems like every 3 miles there's this Cracker Barrel restaurant. My wife went out there about 2 weeks ago, and it seems like we're there about every 3 to 4 days now. It's a super well-run restaurant. It's one of those things where small luxuries, as the economy gets tight, the restaurants are packed. They got great retail. Sandra Cochran, I've been doing a lot of research on her. Great CEO. And this thing's yielding about 5%. Strong commitment to the dividend, strong commitment to the buyback. This is a stock I think you put in your portfolio. It's going to pay you to wait. About 10% upside. You add in the yield of 5%. I think you see about 15% over the next 12 months. That's not too bad, Charles.
I love what you just said there. You looked into the CEO because they have to make it work, and then of course the dividend. You did forget the tchotchkes though. So let's talk about dividend stocks, right? Because I talked about them yesterday on the show. How historically, against other forms of investing, you get higher returns on average, right, and less risk and less volatility than, say, the S&P overall, non-dividend payers, and certainly companies that are cutting dividends. Are you seeing more and more people want to buy dividend stocks?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Charles. I mean, when you invest in stocks, it's kind of like real estate, right? You could buy raw land where you're waiting for it to grow. You don't get paid while you wait. Or you could buy these apartment complexes that are paying you that monthly rent. It's the same thing with stocks. Buy growth, but dividends right now, and a lot of people don't realize this, Charles, the dividend aristocrats have actually outperformed the S&P over a longer period of time here. And when you look right now, a stock I also like, WP Carey, one of the best run REITs out there right now. That stock over the last 20 years has delivered 12.5%, but only 5.6% of that has actually come from price appreciation. So when you get this volatility in times like this, people are worried about losing their jobs. It's nice to build up that side income that's coming in quarterly from dividends. And I think a lot of people have comfort when they see that money coming in, and they're not just waiting for capital appreciation. So a lot of consistency there. I think dividends, especially as it look like rates are starting to peak and are coming down, you want to lock in some of these good paying dividend names here.
Before I let you go, your thoughts on the broad market. Is it still going to be a stock picker's market?
I think it is, Charles. Look, I liked technology last year. I still continue to like it, but it's a little bit harder to like NVIDIA after it's done what it's done. You're seeing Amazon catch a bid. I think you have that old barbell approach. Look for some of these dividend names. I like technology here, but it's done really, really well. I like to see a little bit of a pullback. But look, what's going on with banking right now, the market, I think, is held up extremely well. This is not 08, 09. It's going to be a stock picker's market. Look at even some names like Schwab as that starts to settle out. That could be a good long-term pick if you got a couple years.
And by the way, I'm looking at the Vita Coco. It made that bottom. It's on its way up. Is it too late to buy that one?
No, I don't think so, Charles. Look, it's up about 20%. I'd rather talk about it when it's down a little bit. But I think if you get a 5-6% pullback over the next year, 2 years, this is a great name, dominant player in the space. Biggest place. A lot of people that are actually looking at it, a lot of they do a lot of white labeling. So the vast majority of coconut water you buy is Vita Coco. I think it's a good name to add long term.
No, I mean, you've been killing it, my man. I'm just going to give you a little caution, okay? They got some pretty good grits out there. I know you're a health buff, right? I'm looking at the suit's getting a little tight already. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice, all right? Moderation. Moderation.
I hear you, my man.
All right, Rob. Talk to you again soon.
We'll see you soon.